Hello and welcome to Minis and Muscles, the place, the only place where the brawn meets the brush. Well, hopefully it's the only place anyway. Happy Friday, people. How are we? Good evening. Happy Friday. Sorry for this cable dangling down. As usual, it's charging my overhead mini cam. Let's see if we can move that way. Yes, welcome. It's Friday. How are you doing? What's been going on, guys? How are we? We made it. It's the weekend. It's 7 p.m. Friday the 27th of September. Where has this year gone? But we are here as usual. We are ready to rock and roll. So we've already got some chat coming in. So as Bearded Veterans gets in the first comment. He's been looking forward to this stream all day. Fantastic. Well, that was a dramatic intro. Well, I'm glad you liked the drama. So glad that you liked it, and it was dramatic and theatrical enough to entertain you. Hello, HoneyAnn42 from Florida. How you doing? Take a quick sip of my fizzy drink. I love a fizzy, as we know. So, what's been going on? How's your week been? My week has been a busy one. First of all, my truck stopped working, so that was never good. The immobiliser, that meant that basically I couldn't turn my truck on, couldn't drive it, so I've been carless or vehicle-less all week, which is rather frustrating. Aside from that, what else have I been doing? Busy week with work stuff. Plenty of complex problems, including trying to navigate my way through Excel, so that's always been fun. And saw some family today. How about you guys? What has been going on in your life this week? I hope you're all good. So thank you, as always, for tuning in, whether you're tuning in live and joining me now to talk and chat and follow the conversation as we go through everything. You can drop a comment in the chat, so feel free to do so. Yes, thank you for joining in, or thank you for tuning in sort of historically, or what would the right word be? Historically, is that right? Where you tune in later and watch the recorded version. But either way, welcome to the channel. We are here. So, what about last week, eh? How did we feel last week went? Let's just nip over to the chat. HoneyAnn42 is saying she's doing well. I was blessed to be far enough inland to miss the worst of Hurricane Helena. But work is going into overdrive on storm damage assessment. Oh no, that sucks. But that's good news that you were safe. I'm glad, HoneyAnn42, that you were safe. That's very cool. Weirdly, you say about Hurricane Helena. I mean, we don't have hurricanes here in the UK where I am. We don't actually have them in the UK at all. Or I say we don't have them in the UK. Very, very rarely do we have them. But when we do, they tend to be fairly crap, and we're never prepared for that kind of thing here. So everything goes to pot in the UK with bad weather. Whether it's snow, whether it's rain, whether it's hurricanes, whatever it is, it always goes to pot here. So I'm glad that you're well, even if you're sort of going into overdrive on the storm damage assessment. Hopefully, fingers crossed, prayers to those that were caught in Hurricane Helena, and everyone is okay and safe. So fingers crossed you're safe. But what was I talking about a minute ago? I was just saying around last week's live stream. So I don't know if if you caught up, but last week we did a Space Marine 2 live play with me, the pro gamer. Not really at all. Not a pro gamer, and not a pro painter. That's why we did this channel, for the fun, for the community, for joining along, for collaborating with different people, for just chatting crap, you know, sharing tips, tricks, me sharing stuff with you guys, whether that's painting miniatures, whether that's playing Space Marine 2 badly. So if you didn't see it, I'd advise you to go back to last week's live, which will be live number 13. If you go back and watch that and rewatch it, you will see me playing Space Marine 2 exceptionally poorly. It got to one point in the game where I think I died about 7 or 8 times. I was trying the sort of same tactic again and again, Einstein's definition of madness, right? But I love computer games. I love playing them. but I'm not a pro by any means of the imagination. So like I'm just on when you get lots of triggers to do lots of things all at once. So you've got to do like multiple taps here and, you know, up down circle R2 just to frickin' forward roll. I get confused. But I did there. I got through it. I got through. So we got through the sort of intro main part and into the sort of the main meat of the campaign. So we can now do online play. What I was disappointed with is I thought there'd be more. So I'm going to turn my background music down one notch. I thought there would be more customization. I was really hoping to see, and I might see that later on because I've not played it since actually, but I was hoping for more customization where I could like customize my Space Marine and, you know, change his chapter or whatever I wanted to do and make him cool, because I love a bit of customization. But anyway, back to the chat. Bearded Veteran is saying mostly sleeping or doing live streams this week, including 3 2-hour streams and a 3-hour one today. Mate, fantastic. So if you don't know, Bearded Veteran has his own YouTube channel. He's a buddy of mine, so he has his YouTube channel. Go and see what he is doing. It's similar kind of stuff in terms of model creation and things like that. But I'm sort of more on the Warhammer D&D kind of side, and I talk about all those sort of geeky type topics and gaming and video gaming, things like that. And I think, quote me if I'm wrong, Bearded Veteran, but I think it's more around I'm quite jovial and light-hearted about a lot of this because I'm useless. But I think there's more serious kind of, you know, like your Airfix models or model training model trains and all that sort of stuff. So it's quite technical, but there's a really brilliant channel. So do go over if you like this kind of thing. 100% you'll like that kind of thing as well. He does some different timings to me, so I'm on every Friday at 7 p.m. UK time. Whereas Bearded Veteran has, as he's put there, multiple slots and a 3 2-hour streams as well. That's awesome. So yeah, I hope at one point I will get to the place where, you know, Minis-N-Muscles has 1,000 viewers or 1,000 subscribers, whatever you want to call it, and we can then do a similar thing where, you know, we jump in and we do multiple streams in the week. But right now we're just with work and things like that. It's more one live stream a week and one short a week. That's kind of my limit at the moment. But fingers crossed we will start to generate more. So we talked about, we had our intro, we talked about last week and playing Space Marine 2. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Do jump into the comments and let me know what you thought of the live streaming and how it worked. I couldn't quite get my PlayStation to link with OBS for some reason, so it wasn't coming directly in through the PlayStation to OBS. I had to use my camera to then film the TV I was playing on, so it wasn't quite as good a graphics as what I would have liked, but it wasn't too bad, and hopefully it was interesting enough for you guys to listen to me natter and talk crap and get through, you know, a couple of hours of computer gaming. God, I sound old when I say that. Computer gaming. So, Bearded Veteran is jumping in saying, mine's more the history and vehicle side. Dude, if you ever want me to jump onto a stream with you, just let me know. Yeah. So, that's right. You do a lot more of that. You know, I'm doing these sort of one-off characters and things like that, mythological type characters, and whereas Bearded Veteran's into the history and vehicle side of things. So I have seen on his channel, because I've joined a couple of the lives, which are really good, and he's done, what was it? I think it was planes on the last two I saw, actually. I think it was planes. Oh, someone had a tank? Was it a tank I saw? Yeah, I think it was tanks and planes. I can't quite remember. My memory is shocking. As you know, I forget words that are coming out of my mouth right now, let alone what I had for tea yesterday or what I watched, you know, 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago. But yeah, in terms of a stream, yeah, it'd be absolutely cool. I think maybe we should do one at some point. It'd be good to collab. Yeah, but anyway, I've been lots of nattering for the first 10 minutes, haven't I? Christ. So what have we got going on today? So we're actually shifting back from the gaming and we're immersing ourselves into our Ghost Dragon because it's almost there. So I have a little confession to make to you guys. When I was building the Ghost Dragon, I was putting them all together and I obviously cocked up and didn't put the wings on first and blah, blah, blah. But we got all that sorted. We got past that. And I was looking at the model the other day, the front of it that is, and I was like, this doesn't quite look right. What's missing here? And do you know what was missing? And it was in the box rattling around, was the remainder of his tail. So, if I bring our lovely Ghost Dragon into view, if I bring him forward, you will now see the tail that now wraps around the rock at the bottom. So there's his tail that wraps around the rock at the bottom. Alright, so today what we're going to do is we're going to finish off some of the highlighting. So we started off doing some of this sort of highlight colours throughout the ethereal flames that are on his body. We also started putting some colour into the wings. It doesn't come out very well on this camera actually, but in real life you can see it. So you'll have to take my word. Once we've done that, we're then going to just finish off around this highlighting down here. And I actually think I'm probably going to leave him there. What we do here at Minis-N-Muscles, we don't claim to be pros. I am not a pro painter. I'll get something ready to tabletop standard, a decent standard, so it looks really cool, but it doesn't take you years and years and years just to get one model finished. I probably don't have the patience for it because I lose patience very quickly. And also, I think with the vibe of the channel and what I want to give to you guys, it's just a variety of models. And just like on this one, for example, we did this low light, highlight type effect down across the wings and the body and things like that. I just want to concentrate on doing little things like that on every model, something slightly different on a new model. And it just keeps it interesting, right? So when we finish this today, and I pray we will finish this today, we will then make it onto a new model. I've got a couple over my side here. We will hold them up and we'll do a little vote online and we'll see what we get to choose. So you guys get to choose what the next model is. So hopefully that will be quite cool. So that's what we're going to do today. It's sort of a little bit more detail here and there, nothing too crazy. And just to finish off this model, so it's just a tabletop standard ready to use. But I think it looks pretty beautiful already. Let's just whip back into the chat. What we got? So Bearded Veteran saying we finished the planes now and we're doing some trains. It was trains, wasn't it? Where am I getting tanks from? I swear I saw a tank, or was it someone? Maybe it was someone on your Discord that was putting pictures of a tank in, and I'm getting confused. Possibly. So you're doing some steampunk kit bashing. Oh, nice. Okay, so guys, steampunk kit bashing. That's going to look cool as hell. So yes, get over to the Bearded Veteran and take a look. Oh yeah, how did none of us notice his tail was missing? I know, right? Look, his tail wraps around there and it looks so smart, and I completely didn't even notice. It was like completely evaded my eyesight. I was like, oh, alright, okay. So we got Tiffany in the chat. Evening, hi Tiffany, how are you? Are you keeping well? Did you have a nice week? I hope you did. Bearded Adventure saying we did the Whippet medium tank. That's what I'm thinking. I knew I freaking saw one somewhere. I'm not going crazy just yet, but I knew I saw someone. No, I saw one somewhere. So yes, that's good. Makes old Steve think like he's not going crazy. Difficult in this current day and age, right? You do stuff, and as you get older and more cynical and grumpy and boring, you start thinking you're going mad on stuff. But anyway, enough of that. So our topic for today, for just the sort of general chit chat and just to keep us going throughout the painting session, we're going to be talking about fantasy films, fantasy movies. So I just want to sort of delve into a couple of fantasy movies, a couple of my favourites that I like, and so we can just have a bit of chat about it, that's all. So not only will we talk about the model itself, but we'll hop on to the fantasy films and just talk about that, whether it's Lord of the Rings or whatever. let's just have a bit of a talk about it. Let's see what we come up with and enjoy a bit of geek chat on fantasy movies. And then for our muscle moment, because it's Minis and Muscles, for our muscle moment, we are going to talk about full body workouts, just full body workouts, and just something, an idea to kickstart your journey. Okay, so just an idea to kickstart your journey. I just need to amend my notes here. Yeah, so full body workout and an idea to kickstart your journey. So we will cover that later, and we usually do that about the halfway mark, providing I don't go loopy and forget completely. So back into chat, we got Tiffany saying, I'm pretty good. She has been busy helping Bearded Veteran with his streams. Yes, so in case you don't know, in case you haven't popped over to the Bearded Veteran Creates channel, Tiffany helps with the Bearded Veteran with his streams, helps on the sort of stopping meanie people chatting, and sort of controls some of the Discord and things like that. So she does all that sort of techie geeky kind of stuff. And I mean that in the most sincerest and politest way, Tiffany, because we're all geeks here, and that's absolutely fine to be a geek. So, back to our Ghost Dragon here on Minis and Muscles. I've got my paint ready, so I've got my nice clear paint. As usual, I'm using a dirty, well, it looks like a dirty cup on the outside, but it's not. I've opened my wet palette, so that's all prepped and ready to go. I've got my brushes here, so the last couple of weeks, you know what, I've been really peeved off with brushes. Not just painting here on the Minis and Muscles channel, but painting by myself in my own time, doing all my little other bits and bobs. I'm, painting things like this at the moment, a nice little Warhammer model, just painting these. And I have noticed Citadel paintbrushes are awful. They're terrible. I swapped over my paintbrushes quite recently, and they're all new in my rack, and they're just absolutely terrible. So I'm really disappointed, to the point where this week I might even, sacrilegious as this sounds, I might even bin off all these brushes and pull out a new set that I've got, that I bought because it was on sale. It's meant to be wolf bristles, so I don't know if they're any good or not, but we'll see. Bearded Veteran in chat saying, are we geeks or nerds? Now there's a question. Ooh, great question. I think is it not the same thing? Or am I don't know. Geek or a nerd? Is it the same thing? I suppose, is nerd used as a kind of like insult type thing, and geek is more someone that's into sort of weirdy kind of hobbies, like your Warhammers, your D&D, that kind of thing. I don't know. A nerd is more of like that, oh, you're such a nerd, you're so, and that's kind of seen as the insult. I don't know. Hey, drop it in the chat, let me know. Anyway, oh no, just saying, I go to the works and get the pack of 10 for £2. Last a while and easily replaced. Oh, okay. So, Tiff, here's the question then on your paintbrushes. Like if I hold this up, this is quite a fine brush. This is a Games Workshop Citadel small layer brush, this one. So it's quite a small brush. Do they go as low as that from there? Honey Andy's saying, I'm wager some of us are both. I always felt nerd was more academic. Ah, nerd is more academic. Okay, yeah, that could be it. Maybe the geek is like, for the geeky kind of hobbies, nerd is like the little SWAT of the class, the brain box, Yeah, maybe that is what it is. Yeah, okay, let's go with that. I like that. That's pretty cool. Right, so it's just our light, so we can get a bit of light in here. Let's switch over cameras. Whoop. Is that right? Oh, just knocking my... Which way do I go? That way. No, that way. Ah. There we go. Right, I always get because the camera's reversed, I always get it muddled up. So I have to draw this big fat X. So I know where to keep my mat. So I know where to place the model when he's on the table. So hopefully you guys can actually see now the purple that's sort of integrating into the wings. So it just sort of goes up the wings and in. There's sort of little highlights here and there. And there's nothing too major. It's just like one or two little tiny strands. And it's just enough to take the flow of the purple from the body out into the wings without it being too much. And you've still got this kind of translucent blue. But the part that I want to work on here is the tail. So we started here and we give it some of these sort of highlights, lowlights, and then I want to bring that all the way around here into the tail and finish up on this little curly bit here. So that's the bit I want to nail today, because then I think he's almost tabletop ready at that point. And that means, because I get excited and I get impatient, a bit like Christmas, it means that I can then choose a new, oh no, not I, but you guys can choose a new model. And that's exciting, right, when we can all choose new models. They go lower than that. What goes lower than that? Did I miss something? Oh, they go lower than that, as in the brushes. Nice. Okay. Right, that's pretty cool. And they're in the works, you say. Okay, you say the works. I shall have to go and have a look. £2 for a pack. That's really good. And to be fair, if it was £2 for a pack and they broke after a little while, I wouldn't be too fussed. Because that is super, super cheap. Wow, okay. I'm going to have to go to the works this weekend. I now know where I'm going. And for those of you that are not in the UK, the works is like a big sort of... it's a big store that does craft stuff. Not necessarily, you know, you're modelling specific Warhammer craft stuff or anything like that. It's just general craft. So it's but it's quite a good store. I thought it was quite expensive though. So Honey Ann, Bearded Veteran is agreeing with you. He is saying nerd is like academic or techie. Yeah, okay. Well, that sounds about right. I'm just mixing up my paints whilst we're here, just making sure they're getting them on the old vibrator over there. Give them a shake as well, because I'm not entirely sure. I did buy this sort of paint shaker off of Amazon. It cost me about 12 quid. It's not the expensive one, because as here, we don't buy expensive, do we, guys? We try to buy cheap to, you know, ensure that we can afford doing this modelling hobby forever, right? So let's slap a bit of paint into our wet palette. First paint up of the day is Citadel Gene Stealer Purple. So if you were trying to replicate some of this, then, you know, feel free to just pause on that point and find yourself some Gene Stealer Purple. And by the way, if you haven't seen, actually, talking of replicating things, Bearded Veteran did drop into the Discord the other day, showing off his red dragon. So he has a red dragon that he's started doing. It's the same make and brand as what we're painting here with the Ghost Dragon. So that's Dungeons and Lasers, made by Archon Studios. They're very good minis. They really are. Not paid by them. They don't sponsor the channel. I don't, you know, take your money because I'm telling you about them. I'm just purely telling you because they're good. The resin plastic casts on them are really cool. They're fairly easy to put together. There's not anything really massively technical. And they're pretty darn cheap. So I would advise you taking a look. So jump over to the Discord and go and see what our man Bearded Veteran is talking about. So here we go. Let's get our camera ready. We've got our lights sorted. The brush has had a painter's lick, so it's prepped and ready. And we're just going to take our Gene Stealer Purple and we're going to take some of these edges, so the higher points of the mould itself, and we're just going to paint along them. That's all we're doing. Nothing crazy, nothing exciting. Although I do need to make sure that I've got not too watered down. That first bit there was really watered down, so I need to just go back in with a bit more paint, because if it's too watered down it just doesn't look like anything. So, but yeah, you can get the impression now that I'm trying to achieve just by taking the higher points of the model of the Oh yeah, I was going to do his hands as well, wasn't I? I'm just remembering stuff as I'm chatting away to myself. So question, Steve. Have you done the teeth on Purple Dragon? Yeah, so can you see the teeth there? I'm trying to get him into view without bashing the wing on the floor, on the table, but yes. So the teeth are done. You can see his little teethy pegs poking through there. They are done. I think that was one of the earlier, maybe 3 sessions ago, I think, perhaps, where we covered the teeth. Why is that? What was the reason, rationale behind that question, bearded veteran? Tiffany's saying the better brushes £6, but the £2 ones are good too. Hey, £6 still pretty cheap, to be fair. Is that £6 for a packet or for one? Is that £2 for one? Because if it's £6, that's almost like pretty much the same price as a Citadel Games Workshop type model, type paintbrush. Sorry. So that would be similar pricing. And as we know, always looking for a bargain. Always looking for a bargain. So our music tonight, as always, brought by Pocket Bard. If you haven't tried Pocket Bard, try Pocket Bard out. They're awesome. But tonight's... Oh, going out of frame there. Tonight's sort of setting as such from Pocket Bard is... I think it's Dwarven Kingdom, I think it's called. You can hear them sort of mining in the background. It's quite funny. If you listen very carefully. And I don't shout over everything. If I just stay quiet for a moment. You hear that? So bring the model round. What we got in chat? I wonder if all this purple paint licking gives you purple pee. No, I don't think so. Not yet anyway. It hasn't done yet, but there is still time. There is still time. There's nothing wrong with licking a paintbrush, you know. Ooh, I'll have to show you guys something. Actually, I did get something the other day that I'm trying to use after every session, just to keep my paintbrushes better. So I'll show you that shortly. Got something quite cool, and I'm just testing it just to see how it works out. I'm not entirely sure whether I'm completely happy with it yet, but we'll see. We'll see how it goes. But I'll show you that in shortly. After I've actually done something to this model. Otherwise I could sit there and talk for hours, couldn't I? Oh, that's a bit splodgy, that bit. Didn't mean to do that much. So, Bearded Veteran saying he was looking at the teeth on Thos and they're so tiny. I was wondering how easy they are to do. Okay, so yes, the teeth on this model are pretty small. They're not huge. For the teeth, did I use this brush, or I might have used this Army Painter's brush? So this an Army Painter's brush. Oh, I might need to turn that way. Don't know if you can read that, but it's Army Painter Super Detail. There you go, Super Detail Army Painter brush. Purely because the end is very small, and sometimes it's not because I necessarily need the end to be really small, but I don't want too much paint at all, and sometimes I'm a bit crazy with the paint and I get a bit overexcited. So I just use a very, very small fine brush just to add a little bit of paint onto the end. That was all. But that's the brush I used, I believe, for that section. And they're not that bad though. It was undercoated black anyway, and then we went. I think I used this paint for the teeth. There you go. Morghast Bone is what I used, because it gives a kind of grotty yellow kind of look, you know. That was the kind of vibe I was going for. So, and it seemed to come out all right. It seems to look pretty good. Again, not perfect, but it doesn't have to be perfect. Oh, I'm out of shot. Let's just bring that back in. So on these lines as well, you don't have to cover every single one. That's not really what it's about. You're not trying to make every single one of these little lines highlighted. You know, you just go as you feel. I did want to come down here though, on the hands, just because these sort of veins that stick out just look like they needed some pink. Well, actually, I say pink. It's actually purple, but it's quite a cool colour to bring into the hand. God, I'm terrible at keeping this in the camera. Sorry, guys. Let's just get a bit more. There we go. It's just a really small, tiny amount of paint. You see on the veins on the hands here, just a really tiny bit, just to bring it out and make that sort of vein stand out a bit more, because it was in the shadows still, and I want that to pop a little bit more. So we got that there. I'm just having a look around for the rest of the model to see if there's any other sort of areas that, like this bit here, looks quite dark, and I just want to bring a little bit of colour through. So I'm just going to place a little bit of colour, not too much, just in on this area. It just looks quite dark, and I don't want it to be black looking. Not everywhere anyway. I want this sort of wispy kind of effect to flow through the whole model. Oh, need a bit more paint. So come down here, join that up. What we got here in the chat. The woman that used to paint the luminous part on early watches used to think that there was nothing wrong with brush licking as well. See? Oh, until their jaws fell off from radiation poisoning. Well, she was a silly girl, and these are water-based. So, and look, you probably eat biscuits and drinks and all the rest of it that have got probably far more harmful products in this paint. Not that I'm advising anyone to lick their brushes. I'm just saying that's what I do because I'm a lunatic. But there's a lot of horrible things. Have you seen that app? Someone showed me the other day an app that where you can see all of the toxic things that are in in what you eat. Horrendous. But anyway, on to our topic of the day. Topic of the day I wanted to talk about was fantasy movies. So, in the chat, drop in the chat and tell me what your most favourite, or one of you, it doesn't have to be the most favourite actually, but, you know, name me a fantasy movie that you love, that you watch all the time, and you think is, you know, a classic that we need to be shared with everybody. It doesn't have to be a classic, it could be a modern one. But something that needs to be shared with the rest of the group. Drop it in the chat, let me know. I'm just going to do some of the underside here of the wings. So what movies do you love, guys? Fantasy movies. So by fantasy, you know, this is sort of, you know, dwarves, elves, magic, that kind of feel. That's what we're going for. So drop in the chat, tell me what your favourite movies are, or something that you recommend people to watch. So, Bearded Veteran saying Star Trek. Star Trek. See, I don't see that as a fantasy. I don't know, am I being bad to Star Trek here? I don't see that as a fantasy movie. Yeah, I don't know whether I'm right or wrong on this. Hey, good for debate. Is Star Trek a fantasy movie, peeps? What do we reckon? Is Star Trek a fantasy movie? Or is it sci-fi? I think it's sci-fi. That's my guess. It's not fantasy, it is sci-fi. I think Bearded Veteran just loves Star Trek. What do we reckon? Or what's your favourite film? Oh, I've noticed last week we had like 10 viewers. This week we're back to sort of 5. Live, that is. So does that mean that actually more people just want to watch gaming than they do me painting and talking crap? They just want to watch me gaming and talking crap. I mean, I'll happily do anything, really. Just don't be putting in your requests for OnlyFans. I don't think I'm going to do that just yet. Wait till I get really desperate. Although I did consider it a while back. But we'll see. Again, just using the edge of my brush. So loading up a bit of paint and being gentle with... Oh, bugger, saying that. Look. Being gentle with just applying a little bit. Using the side of my brush here, just along the edge. Again, just picking out a few of these raised areas on the Mini. Just because I think they look better on that bit, using the colour on that than it does. Oh, look at that, my paint's gone right. That's a bad no-no, isn't it? The paint should never go up past the bristles. Teaching people terrible things. I'm going to have to wash my brushlet. Let's just lie our model down. Let's give a brush a little bit of a wash. That's what we're saying in chat. I would say no, but you could argue Star Wars is. What, as in, Honey Ann, you're saying no, Star Trek is not fantasy? But you could argue Star Wars is fantasy? Is that what you're saying? Tiffany is saying Lord of the Rings, but my favourite fantasy movie, Ghost Rider. Ghost Rider? The one with Nicolas Cage? Ghost Rider? That's your favourite fantasy movie? Well, I class Ghost Rider as fantasy. Okay. Honey Ann is saying I like the obvious Harry Potter and Lord of the Rings, but in a lesser talked about fantasy movie, Stardust. Is that the one that the movie song is done by Take That, the 90s UK boy band? I think so. And if it is that movie, I agree. That's a pretty cool movie. Massively underrated. Oh yeah, you're saying yes, don't get paint in the ferrule that splits the bristles. Yes, you should never get it all the way up. You should only be getting paint on the bottom end of your brush. You're absolutely correct. And you know, as I was painting away there, I didn't realise what I was doing. I was just slapping on paint, getting carried away, and then I'm the guy that complains that my brushes are all knackered. Could be user fault here, eh? Just taking a little bit around this edge. Ooh, that looks a nice little raised surface. Let's do this bit here. Need a bit more paint on that. Yeah, so fantasy films are just films set in an imaginary world or universe that has little or no representation of reality. So whilst it is a sci-fi, technically it fits into both. Oh, okay. So you're trying to pull me out on a technicality here, bearded veteran, eh? All right. I accept your argument. However, do you know what? I've never been a massive Star Trek fan. Don't know why. It just doesn't really appeal to me that much. I don't hate it. I don't think it's terrible. I've heard a lot of good things about the new Star Trek movies. Apparently they're very good. But yeah, I'm just not one for Star Trek. So Honey Ann was talking about a lesser known movie. Then the lesser known movie is Stardust, right? I said, oh, is it the one that has got Take That as the theme tune? Tiffany's saying, yes, Take That, Rule the World is the song from Stardust. See, I was right. That Stardust movie, I think that's a massively underrated movie. For a fantasy film or fantasy genre movie, it's got all your good sort of crazy parts in, and sort of, I like that high fantasy touch of, you know, sort of different world, but same world, if that makes sense. You know, as in, it looks like Earth, it could be Earth, but it's got different people in it, you know. I do quite like that. I like that vibe. Let's have a look at these wings on the top now. So there's just some areas on the wings on the top that I think I'll just add a little bit of colour to. There's some areas as well where I really have done a poor job. But again, you know, unless someone's really being critical and sort of taking your model and, you know, putting it through the ringer, don't worry too much. It doesn't matter. It's all fun. As long as you enjoy painting it, that is what is the key for any model building. The moment that you don't enjoy it is the moment you should quit. Or take a break, I mean, not quit entirely. Because you don't want to quit entirely because this hobby's cool. Here you go. Here's one for you guys. I was thinking underrated fantasy movies. Did anyone see the World of Warcraft movie? Tell me what you think of that. The World of Warcraft movie, that is a stereotypical, what I call stereotypical fantasy, orcs, dwarves, humans, elves, that kind of thing. Did anyone see that movie? With, I can't remember who the actor was now actually, but I don't think there was anyone massive in the cast. But I thought that was pretty cool. I liked that. I thought that was a pretty good fantasy movie. I enjoyed it very much. And if Steve enjoys a movie, you should enjoy the movie too. Going back to my radio days. Not that I had any radio days whatsoever. But I like to imagine. I like to pretend, but there's any radio out there. Any radio disc jockey out there. Or actually, it wouldn't be a disc jockey, would it? They'd be talking and asking me to come and do their radio station. It would be the station themselves. Unless an influential disc jockey is listening to Minis-N-Muscles on a Friday night on YouTube, 7 PM BST. And you fancy a little crazy English guy coming on your radio and talking in a very crazy voice. Let me know, hook me up, because I would love to. Dragonheart is a good one, says Bearded Veteran. Tiffany says, "Ooh, Dragonheart is good. I haven't watched that for a while." Dragonheart, and I'm gonna have to Google that quick, just because I can't remember. So let's just do this and go Dragonheart movie. Boop. Oh, I have seen that. Yeah, There's a couple of them. Yeah, I have seen that. I have seen that. That is a good movie. I do like that. I haven't watched that in some time as well. Yeah. Yeah. I remember that. That is a good movie. Yeah. Is it Sean Connery? Sean Connery is the dragon? Is he the dragon in it? Sean Connery? I think so. Or is he the baddie? Maybe he's the baddie, actually. I think he might be the baddie. Can't remember, but I think he's in it. Correct me if I'm wrong, peeps. Sean Connery, is he in the movie? Is he the baddie or was he the dragon? But Beard saying, I think an interesting way of thinking about Star Trek is that it's fantasy set in the future rather than the past. Kind of like the Alien TTB D&D. Yeah, got you. You do love a Star Wars, Star Trek, didn't you, Bearded Veteran? I think you're trying to convert everyone on Minis-N-Muscles to go and watch Star Trek. That's what I heard. So now we've got a sort of lighter purple than the base done for the highlights. We're going to take that lilac next. Oh, so the colour, just so you know, is this one. There's your colour. Decala Lilac. Decala Lilac. That's the colour we're using next. So if you want to follow along... Yeah, so we're just going to go around and just do a little bit more with the lighter colour. Yeah. Getting a little bit in there. Yeah, so I liked that Stardust. I also liked the World of Warcraft movie. I thought that was pretty good. It got real crap reviews in the box office. You know, a bit like the D&D movie, or the latest D&D movie, and the others actually, to be fair, where they weren't really true to the game. So a lot of the sort of hardcore fans of World of Warcraft really ripped it apart, and they were not happy. But if you just watch it as a movie, again, like the D&D film, watch it as a movie, not because you're watching it because it's D&D, and you'll enjoy it. Yeah, it's pretty good. And the D&D movie was very much like that. You know, if you watched it as a purist D&D fan, you know, you may not enjoy it. I mean, there were a few little things in there, like nods to spells and things like that, which were nice. But quite a lot of it was sort of not really how D&D works, or you'd expect slightly different. So, you know, it wasn't necessarily the best on that, but I liked it as just a general movie. I thought it was pretty good. Go. So we're saying in chat, yeah, he's the dragon called Draco. Oh, Sean Connery's a dragon called Draco. Did not know the dragon's name, but yeah, I do remember him being in it. Sure. Oh, I've just noticed around this way there's some black missing off a little tiny chunk around here. It's just, I don't know if I can get it into frame, just above my tip of my paintbrush here. There's a little tiny chunk where I've cut it off the sprue and I haven't filed it down, so I've missed that bit. I think it's quite funny, whenever you go through a model and you're putting it together, you do quite often miss bits. So I do. Again, it's probably the impatience, where, you know, just can't be bothered to wait, so I don't, and I just go ahead and do it anyway. Now let's get it in here. Are we liking the Dwarven music? The Dwarven Kingdom music? I'm not sure if I'm liking it. I might have to change it over. If you have anyone that comments and says they want to change the music, let me know. I will change it for you. We'll try and find something else. So we're just, again, filling in a couple more of these areas. And what we're doing is, where we've got that Gene Stealer purple, we're just going underneath the Gene Stealer purple with this lilac. Just joining it up and giving it sort of a double colour effect. Because I quite like how that looks. And I wasn't sure whether I'd done it right originally, but you know what? I'm not going to go back and change it for two reasons. One time, because it would take a lot to respray the model and go back and change all these bits where we've gone and, you know, put the white under the darker purple, or sorry, the lilac under the darker purple. But, you know, that's just the quirk, right? It just means that nobody else's model is going to be like that because nobody's loony enough to paint it like that. So that's just the quirk of the model. Having a little quirk like that is absolutely fine. So if you guys were to write a fantasy movie, alright, so here's a question. You are writing your own fantasy movie, guys. You can cast yourself as the star if you wish. What would you write about? What would be your fantasy movie? And what would you write about? So that's what I'd like to know in the chat. Drop me a line in the chat and let me know. You are writing and possibly starring in your own fantasy movie. What would it be and why? So what are you making your fantasy movie about, peeps? What is it gonna be? Oh, someone's jumping in here. The music kind of sounds like the orchestral music from Band of Brothers. Oh, okay. Should we change it, shall we? How about this music? This is meant to be the command center on a spaceship. So I'm playing this for you, bearded veteran, as a die-hard Star Trek fan. And we could even go as far as putting in... Can you hear that? It's like a plasma shot. And it's got some... like a door opening. What else have we got? That's not very good. We've got no other sort of futuristic kind of sound effects, but they are on here. Little sound effects for the app. That again, another reason why I like this this app. It's very cool. So yeah, you're starring and writing your own fantasy movie. What are you going to have your movie all about? What's it going to be? Now we're talking. Oh no! Now we've set him off. We've set him off, peeps. He's in a trek mode. What I like about Pocket Bard is this is like the exploring music. So if you're going around exploring an area, you have this, right? If you then your party goes into combat, it changes to this. There you go, it's a bit more dramatic. You can increase the intensity. And that just, all that does is bring more instruments into the music itself. Yeah, really upbeat now. Can you imagine Star Trek Boy 1 fighting the baddies? I don't even know their names. God, I feel like I have to paint really fast because of this music. Got here. I'm just painting some of the areas on his head, just trying to fill in some little bits that look like they should have had a bit of paint or a bit of love. So Honey Ann is saying, I have a storyboard for a story that is about a cult of Zeus worshippers try to reclaim the flame that Prometheus stole from the Olympus. It's set on modern times. Oh, that's quite cool. Yeah, I agree with Bearded Veteran, Honey Ann. That does sound very interesting. And we're now... That's our victory music. So if you win the battle, push the victory button, it does the victory music, then it takes you back to the explore, which is very cool. What else we got here? So let's see if we can find something that would match. Oh, I don't know about this. What's this one? This is Sandstorm, apparently. Just trying to think of something for, you know, Greek mythology and Zeus. Oh, that's what I was going to show you guys. That's what I was going to show you. Completely forgot. So, when as much as licking paintbrushes is a favourite pastime of mine, I actually bought this. Oh, let's put it into this camera. Whoop. Move the dragon out of the way. I actually bought this. Some paintbrush soap. So I saw this not so long ago and I've been trying it out. So what we do is, it looks like this. It's like a kind of waxy material. You get your paintbrush wet, place it in, and just get your paintbrush almost, you know, covered in this kind of soap. Like so. And it just helps. You can use your fingers just to make it into the point and just push and gently push on those bristles. And then you can wash it out and then start afresh with a nice clean paintbrush. I mean, one thing that does baffle me though is it says vegan brush soap. Who's going to eat it? Or does it just mean that... do vegan people have to have suitable soaps for cleaning products as well? I don't know. I don't know about being a vegan. Maybe they do. But I initially thought when I saw it, I was like, who the hell is going to eat soap? But obviously that's not the intent of anybody. So, Honey Ann said it's partially a commentary on the American education system. Ah, okay. So it's pretty much turn up, pledge allegiance, tell them America is the only place on Earth, and all other places within it are within it, and nothing else existed before it. Well, gotta say to Honey Ann, sorry, Bearded Veteran, but America is a pretty cool place. I am in favour of Honey Ann here and her suggestion. I think it's more... I think it's a better place to be than the UK. Put it that way. I would rather be in the US than the UK. Which is kind of sad, really, when I think about it, because you know I do love elements of the UK, but the US for me. I don't know. It just does something for me. The US does something for me. It's a cool place. Finishing off that bit. There's a couple of little bits that I just want to go over just to give it a little bit more colour. Yeah. So anyone else got some movie ideas? What would your movie be about? I think mine, it is going 100% going to be stereotypical fantasy type, dragons, elves, humans, and the actual main characters are all going to be dwarves, because I love the dwarven race in D&D. And it's going to be about them fighting for the town, the mountain town, because it's under attack from a sort of chaotic evil force, which turns out to be a big bad. But then they have to go and install help from the other races, which they don't like to do because dwarves are very proud individuals. So they don't want to do that, but they have to. And I'd like to do a movie on that. That would be my movie if I created one. I love the fantasy feel of films like that. There's something about it that just gets me every time. And some people will hate the films, the movies like that. I absolutely love them. So, we've done our little base bit here. We've added that. Let's just go to big screen. I'll wash my brush quick, and we'll go to big screen, and we'll just quickly look at what the model's looking like. Go to big screen. Boop. Oh no, there we go. Okay, so there's the base. The tail's done. The tip of the tail is done. This is what our dragon is looking like. How do we think it's come out, guys? What do we think? Is he cool? Is he not cool? You cannot see the wings underneath. That's really frustrating. You can see like a little bit of detail, but you can't really see it. I don't know whether it's because my light behind me, which is a ring light, is just too bright. But there is detail on the wings. Let's see if I do a drop down again. Drop down. Yes, so you can see the kind of veiny look across the wings. Same on that one. Not too much, just a little bit. Obviously you've got the back. You've got the tail there coming through. What do we reckon? What do we reckon? The rock looks awesome as well. Yeah, the rock has come out nice. That sort of weathered dry brushing effect really goes well on things like rocks. I do like that. So if I hold him that way, he comes out. There you go. Like that. There we go. That you can see the rock in all its glory. So I like him. Yeah, I think he looks pretty cool. Even his little face is not too bad. Sorry for my poor cameraman angles. But I like him. I like him a lot. So let's just go back to our main view. Here he is here in all his glory. I think he is tabletop ready. Like, again, doesn't have to be perfect. But I think how he looks right now, I think he's good enough to sit on any tabletop, be impressive enough for a game or just to look at, without having to spend hours and hours and hours and hours and hours, or having some super technical skill set to be able to blast away and make him look perfect. And that's exactly what we're here to do on Minis-N-Muscles. Boom. So there you go. Here he is, peeps. In fact, where's the box? Oh, darn it. Let me grab the box because... Box. Then we can compare the box art to what he looks like. So, here is the box art. Obviously, the shading and the sort of colour blending is far more detailed because I didn't even go into that. It's purely a quick paint for this one, just because I actually want to use him for something. So that's the box art, and this is our guy. Not a bad job. Not a bad job. I'm quite happy with that. More than good enough. So, I think it is time to say goodbye to our ghost dragon. Wave him off, people. Say goodbye. We will see you, ghost dragon, possibly in a game. Who's to know? So he is going off into retirement. The ghost dragon goes off into retirement, and he will sit with the rest of my models on the side. Because like every good hobbyist, we have a plethora of models everywhere, and we just collect, paint. So he will go sit on the side, ready to be used, and he will sit with his brother, the Defiler Dragon. So I have 2 of those dragons made by Archon now, by Purple Nurple, waving him goodbye. Yes. So what's there? Just catching up on some of the other chat actually that I missed. So Honey Ann was saying Bearded Veteran is not quite what it's about, and Bearded Veteran's replies, Steve, in the UK the only legal requirement for a brand to be allowed to call a product vegan is that the user doesn't consume any animal products by using it. Okay. Yeah, got you. People used to say on these paints doesn't contain any animal product, but now they just call it vegan. Got you. Okay. Makes sense. It's not for consumption, people. Don't eat it. It's just vegan because it has no animal products in it. Got ya. So far, I've been using this for a couple of weeks in some of my paintbrushes. I'm not 100% sure. Maybe I'm not doing it right. But I'm not entirely sure. I can't remember how much it cost. It was about maybe a tenner or something like that for this pot. It does seem to get the majority of the paint out, but because I wash my paints quite frequently, I think they're generally quite good. What it does do is it does help bring the bristles back, to be fair. So maybe that is the benefit of it. The soap itself helps bring your bristles back to a better standard. So, you know, I'm going to carry on using this, and I'll let you guys know how I find it. But I'll be using this after every session and during sessions just to keep those paintbrushes nice. So people, let's just move this out of the way for a second. I'm actually going to take this out too, because hopefully our camera won't die halfway through now. So hang that there. So let's think of our next model, people. Here on Minis and Muscles, we paint a variety of different models. We've just painted a dragon. Before that, it was a dwarf. So very much sort of in that fantasy kind of world. So I've got a couple of other options to paint. This is what I'm thinking. I've got some here, and I've got something here. Right. I want you guys to tell me what we're going to start next. Okay. We have got 2 choices here. I don't think this one's base painted, actually. Oh, no, but we could still... maybe we can't do that one because I haven't base painted it. So it wouldn't be able to start on this one. But here's the 2 choices, right? We have got a Warhammer Primaris Chaplain on a bike. So it's a Space Marine on a motorbike. That is option 1. Okay. It's already undercoated. So that is the option 1. And option 2 is something I had built and undercoated. And I started painting and just haven't got round to it. Is this. A Sisters of Battle or Adepta Sororitas tank. Or a Rhino, actually, to be correct. So I've got this option, and we've got this option. So we're going from sort of fantasy world, sort of medieval type, you know, magic and axes and swords, to futuristic world. That's why I was going with these two models. So we've got the tank and we've got the motorbike. Tank or motorbike? What do we go for, people? What do we paint? I know this one's started already, but to be fair, it's just light stuff anyway. It's nothing crazy. I mean, I haven't even finished the white properly on the top there. So we've got the tank or the motorbike. I would like you to drop a message into chat, and I want you to say either tank or motorbike, and make your choices to what we paint. Tank or motorbike. Drop it into the chat. Let me know. Should we bring some light onto the models just so you can see them a bit more? Drop it down. There we go. So we've got the tank. This is the top of the tank. There we go. So you've got a little battle sister sat in the turret there. You've got a hunter-killer missile, but all I've done is undercoated it, and I've done a little bit of silver and a bit of white just to start it, but I've never got round to finishing it. Okay, so we've got this one, okay? And then over this side, we've got this guy. So it's a motorbike with a Space Marine chaplain sat on it. And chaplains, I do like chaplains because, in fact, I've just realised both are very religiously type items in the world of Warhammer. Sisters of Battle are very sort of religious following individuals, and as is a chaplain. So a chaplain is sort of the religious grounding for Space Marines. But anyway, Space Marine on a bike. So Tiffany is saying, yes, Primaris Chaplain. Okay, so it's one vote for Primaris Chaplain. Bearded Veteran is saying, oh no, it can still have animal product. Oh, he's talking about soap. So it can still have animal products in it. It just means that using it doesn't cause a person to ingest any animal products. So as long as it's not designed to be eaten, it can be branded as vegan. Oh god, it's so complicated, this world, isn't it? Can we just have like good or bad? Would that be better? This is good, this is bad. Don't do this, don't do that. So Tiffany's voting for the Primaris Chaplain that we're seeing on screen here. Or we have the Battle Sisters Rhino Tank. So that is the Rhino Tank. There we go. Bring it into view there. There is also side parts to it as well. And you can see the tracks on this side. I'll actually put some magnets on here because I want, but they're not, magnets aren't strong enough. So ignore that, people. But yes, we've got the tank and we've got the motorbike. So what are we thinking? Bearded Veteran saying, what about kit bashing the tank? Doing the tank, but adding stuff to make it your own. So, yes, we could do that. However, there is a slight but on that one. I don't have a spare tank, and I would need that for my Sisters of Battle Warhammer army. So I'm not sure about kit bashing this one. I do have another one that I could find and build. That's a great point. Okay, on the kit bashing one then, what I will do is I will look at grabbing a load of parts and grabbing a load of bits and bobs and spares and things like that and start and collect and build them up. So I've got enough to make something very, very interesting. Because right now I could probably only add something very small to the top of the tank, something probably not particularly interesting. So I need to find myself some bits and bobs to make something cool on this tank. Alright, point noted. Given the Sisters of Battle are sort of religious type, devout followers of the God Emperor, I will find some kind of churchy kind of vibe items to go on this tank so we can start kit bashing. Alright, I will do that, but I don't have the stuff tonight to be able to do that. What about, oh, you don't need another tank, you can scrap. Yeah. You can, but what was I thinking? I want to let me find the pieces, because otherwise I don't have any of my bits. Like I have one drawer here of some bits, but I'd like to actually find some cool parts that I could start making with. Maybe I could look now and see. We could pour it out on the table and have a look and see what we've got. That would be quite interesting, perhaps. So this is the only spares little pot I have. It's this tiny little pot here. Let's see what we've got. So, turn it that way, and let's just zoom out a little bit. There we go. Okay, so let's have a look and see what we've got, to see if we've got anything cool in here. We could probably use these somewhere. This is quite cool. So these are sort of moving parts that came... I want to say they came off a dreadnought. Did they come off a dreadnought? I think, maybe. But that's quite cool. We could use those in some way. Quite like that. So maybe that's something we could use. What we got here? Oh, he's a little dwarf. I don't want to tear him apart. We'll keep him standard. Ooh. We've got a dreadnought fisty grabby thing. Could that be used? Maybe. I tell you what we could do though, is we have some of these like little orcs here. The bodies are all sort of missing bits because they're all the pop together pieces, but maybe we've got one or two. Like this guy here, maybe we could take him and cut him up and put him onto the tank as like a squished thing. Maybe we could do that. That's quite a cool idea. What else have we got in here? We've got a lot of bases in here. Just sort of rummaging through the pile. Oh, he's a cool little gnome. Oh, I can see him. I don't know if you can see him properly. Let's see if we can move this light across. We've got a little gnome, sort of a gnome artificer here. He's quite cool. I don't know if I bring him up to the camera this way, it's better. A little gnome artificer with a big gun. He actually looks quite cool. Forgot all about him. He's just sat in my little drawer. He's actually quite a cool little model. I like him. I don't want to cut him up. He's quite cool. What have we got in here? We've got a bolter. So we've got a little bolter. We could use that in our kit bash. Oh, I didn't realise I had a bird. That would have been handy for something else I wanted to do. We've got another arm here. Terminator arm. Okay, what we've got here? Flamer. Okay, pieces are coming together, so we've got stuff. That is like an orc banner of some sort. Maybe that could go with that orc. I'll take it out. What else we got? What's this? Oh no, that is a piece of for another base. That's a servitor for another figure that I never finished, but I don't want to wreck him. So what else we got in here? Could paint the bases to look like Viking shields and put them on the side as they did with longboats. Yeah, but then he's not very 40k futuristic feel for Sisters of Battle. I do want to keep the theme for Sisters of Battle fairly in line with how they would be. There's a crystal there of some sort. Maybe we could use that somehow, I don't know. Oh, there's another little crystal rock there. Got a wolf. No, don't want a wolf. Don't want a rather giant dwarf with double... Oh, he did have double hammers, but I think I've cut them off and used them for something else. What's this? That's I think that's a Leviathan arm that comes out the water. That's a backpack for some other figure. Oh, there's a head. Orc's head. We can use those. A couple of orc's heads. That's quite cool. What's that? Another stone, is it? Stone of some sort? Don't know. Oh, that's off a dreadnought as well. Maybe that can go out. Oh, a pair of binoculars. That's quite cool. Very tiny pair of binoculars. That could work. What else we got? That's a bipod for something. That's like a set of grenades or something. We'll take that out. That'd be cool. Okay, that's my little drawer done. There's not a lot in there, to be fair. Not a lot of great stuff that we can use, but what else have we got over here? So I do have some sprues for Sisters of Battle. I've got plenty of sprues, as you can see, from various other different models. Oh, look at that there. So that could be quite a nice little piece. It's like a sort of churchy kind of vibe thing. So let's cut that out. We'll have that. That looks quite cool. So if I just move these out of the way and bring this in. So that little churchy piece there, we're going to take that. We're going to cut that out and use that. Boop. And boop. So we'll take that and use that. That looks quite cool. What else we got? Bolt guns, swords. Don't think I want anything else off of that sprue, so we'll put that down. What's on this sprue? Anything? Grenades, pouches, and heads. Could we use a pouch, maybe? Because what we could do is build out sort of a little area next to the gunner on the tank, where she's got a load of stuff right next to her. That'd be quite cool. What about this one? Ooh, that could be quite cool. This little sort of see this sort of thing here? This looks quite smart. I quite like that. Let's have a look. It's like a they're called a simulacrum. It's like a sort of banner type thing that your Sisters of Battle can carry, and it gives you additional bonuses. So we could use this, couldn't we? That'd be quite cool. Chainsword. That's got like a little. That's quite cool. It's like a little cup type thing. It does have a hand on it, so we're going to have to cut that hand off and change that. But a tiny little cup down there. Right, let's leave that sprue. Let's have a look at the next one. Oh, that's cool. Nice banner. So we've got. Oh, sorry guys, I'm chatting away, and we should really zoom in a bit here. There we go. Bit out a bit. Ooh, no. There we go. So that nice banner. We'll take that. What's saying in chat? That AWP banner could be like a radio antenna on a World War I tank. Defo. Got a couple of nice little bits collecting here so far. So I'll just bring them into view so you can see what they all are. Oh, I didn't bring that into view at all, did I? So we've got that, we've got that, we've got that, we've got that orc banner, we've got this orc himself, we've got a couple of like orc heads. So we've got a couple of things there. Just looking on the rest of these sprues, seeing what else is on here. You're saying you could use the sprue as a mask for a camouflage scheme. I don't quite understand what you're saying there, bearded veteran. Yes, that banner standing up on the top of the hole. Yeah, the banner at the top of the hole would look cool. Let's see that model again. So we could use, because it's got a twin weapon on the top here. What we've got here is some belt ammo, so we're going to take that. We're going to use this. I think that would be quite cool. Cut that off. And will it come free of the other part? That's the question. It will, and we're just going to use this little tool here. So, not that you can see what I'm doing, but there we go. If I bring it into view, you can. I just want to take that. There you go. So I've cut the ammo off, so we can use that. It looks quite cool. What else have we got? Chainsword. No, I don't want a chainsword really. Oh, that'd be nice. A little flamer bottle. That looks quite cool. Okay, we've got a few bits there to customise the top of our rhino. So I think that will quite work. I like the idea of that. So let's just get that out of the way. What I'm going to do is thinking of those dreadnought parts and how to incorporate those. It's going to be slightly harder. But all these small pieces, they're going to be quite easy to keep. And it will also keep, like I said, I'm trying to keep the flavour of the Sisters of Battle vehicle in line with the rest, because it will go as part of my army. So we've got a couple of things there to do and to add. I'm not sure about the crystals, how I'll incorporate them, but we shall see. Oh, that mini orc is a hobgrot slitter. I have some of those. Oh, is that what he is? Okay, so these were given to me by a friend of mine, just for painting some of his models and putting them together for him. He was like, oh, you can have these, and he gave me a load of them, and a little head there, but they're not full minis, so you can't do anything with them. They were just sort of spares on a sprue, I think, and he just sort of threw them to me and gave them to me, but they're quite cool. Yeah, if it had a larger base, because I don't have a base for this, and maybe I should get a base, because if I had a base I could then place things around the tracks, so I could like place the orc body squished under the track. Maybe I should look for a base then, because these currently don't have a base, they just on tracks. Right, that's my job. I'm going to have to look for a base so we can make the orcs squished, or the goblin or whatever he is. But all the sort of ancillary things like this here, this can definitely go on top. 100% that can go on top. So we are going to have a little edit of that and get that on there. That'd be quite cool. Thanks, guys. Appreciate the little bit of guidance there. So all I'm going to do now is just trim up some of these pieces. Let's change the screen actually, because it's a bit boring looking straight at those tiny little pieces doing nothing. So what I've got now is I've got this little banner. I'm just going round with my cutters, just taking off the burrs off the edge of the pieces where it's been cut from the sprue. Just taking those away, just so it's nice and clean. There we go. Oh, we should probably do our muscle moment, shouldn't we? Because we are, you know, coming towards the end of the stream, actually. What we should probably talk about here in our muscle moment is full body workouts and how to sort of start your journey. So I'll bring up my notes just so I don't forget what I'm talking about. We'll come back to the films in a bit. But full body workouts. So when people always say, a lot of people always say, how do you start, what should you start doing, and how should you start getting into weights, and like building muscle? Now, again, I'm not perfect in terms of my physique and how I look. I do try to, you know, look good and look half decent, but, you know, we're not all perfect, right? I'm going to change this music, actually. This is annoying me. It's a bit too dramatic. What we got here? That's a bit more light-hearted. It's called Setting Sail. So it's a more piratey kind of whimsical pirate feel. So yeah, a lot of people ask me about like how to get into starting to look at building a little bit of muscle. And before people get really carried away with buys and tries and you know, back and buys or whatever your sort of workout set is, or push and pull and all this sort of jazz, I just say to people, start really simple on an all-over body workout. Now, an all-over body workout is really, really simple. Okay, think of it, start from your top of your body, work all the way down. So when you start thinking, traps, shoulders, arms, core, legs. That's it. That's your kind of back as well, then legs. That's your kind of flow, starting from the top all the way down. Right. Excuse me, but so when you're thinking of an all-over workout, I would start yourselves on every exercise that you choose, and this is your choice, by the way, so you're going to create this. You're going to do 3 sets of 10 exercises per exercise that you choose, right? So starting up this sort of the traps, the neck area, shoulders. So you can do 3 sets of 10 on your traps, 3 sets of 10 on your shoulders, 3 sets of 10 on your biceps, on your triceps, on your core, on your back, and then onto your legs, quads, and then calves. Really simple exercises. Don't overcomplicate it. If you want to go and use, excuse me, if you want to go use a machine, absolutely. But try free weights. It doesn't have to be the biggest weight in the world. It could be 2 bags of sugar that you have in your house, and you could just be using those, for example. So you could start off on the top. Let's think of our shoulders and our traps. We could start off with shrugs. So you're starting just holding some dumbbells in your hand or a small weight, and just holding them and nice and relaxed down by your side and just shrugging, bringing those shoulders all the way up to the ears. So you've done that. Now you're going to move to your shoulder, and that's 3 sets of 10. Now you're going to move to your shoulders, and then you're going to do a shoulder press. So just holding your arms down by this sort of position here, and then pushing all the way up to the sky and squeezing at the top and letting go, and then bringing your elbows down to 90 degrees. Okay, so that'll be your shoulder workout. Then it's biceps, so we're just going to do bicep curls, one at a time, just focusing on the arm going all the way down and bringing it all the way up. Then triceps, we're going to go for a tricep extension, so holding a weight behind your head and then just pushing all the way up to the top, like so. Okay, so that's your triceps done. On your back, you might want to do, let's think, I'm trying to think of an easy exercise that you could do at home for your back. It could be lying flat on the floor, so facing the floor, you're flat on the floor like so, and all you're going to do is hold a very small flat kind of weight. If you've got a disc weight, that would be really helpful, or if you might have like a, I don't know, like a weighted ankle weight or something, it can only be very small. You can do it with nothing. All right, so you just place your hands across. If you've got a weight, hold the weight against your chest, arms tucked in, and you're lying flat, and all you're going to do, keeping your legs on the floor, is you're going to raise your body away from the floor. They're called Supermen. Okay, and working your lower back, and you're going to bring that all the way up away from the floor and back down. 3 sets of 10. So that's your back exercise done. Core, we're going to go for straight up sit-ups. Then quads, we're going to go for squats. And then calves, we're going to go for calf raises. So that's on your tiptoes, stopping your heels from touching the floor and keeping your heels off the floor all the time. So like this, say this is my foot, this is the floor, this is my foot. Okay, keeping the heels from touching the floor, and you're just bringing the, raising the calves, the heel off the floor onto your tippy toes and back down without letting the heel touch the floor. 3 sets of 10, working from the top of the body all the way down to the bottom. All right, and not your bottom, but the bottom end of your body itself. So nice, easy exercises. You choose the exercise. It doesn't have to be what I suggested, but my overall suggestion is keep it simple. 3 sets of 10, work from the top of your body all the way down. You can change it every week and just work through it. Okay, it can be done at home, can be done in the gym. Can be done with free weights, can be done with items that you have around the house. I was kind of looking around to see if I had anything, but I don't really have anything sat next to me that is of weight. Oh, there you go. Actually, you could do something as simple as getting a load of books. Here's some Warhammer books that I've got, and you could just, like I said, tricep press, bringing them all the way up, like so. Okay, nice and easy. You're just using items that are found around your house. So that would be my recommendation to you guys for starting off on your fitness journey. All right, an all-over workout. You're going to do that 3 times a week. Okay, 3 times a week for your all-over body workout. Nice and simple. change the exercises as you want just to keep yourself interested and motivated. Some people don't like doing the same rigid thing every week. If you can't think of any exercises, go on Google and just type all over workout. I will guarantee you'll find some predefined PDF that has a load of exercise suggestions. That is actually how I started when I transitioned from doing cardiovascular exercise into weight exercises, because I didn't really have the motivation to dream up exercises myself. Despite knowing things, I just didn't have the motivation to do it. What we have in chat, it's a bit of exercise. If you put the empty sprue against the hole, you can paint around it to create an interesting camouflage pattern, because the sprue has lots of nice wavy lines. Yeah, very true. And if you have a drill, you can drill out the ends of that moving dreadnought bit and make it look like a pair of cannons, and the claw would make a great grappling launcher for the back. Ooh, like it. Yeah, so we've got these moving parts here for the back. So let's just bring those in. So we've got these sort of moving parts that we could use. We certainly have. We've got the 2 arms here. We've got a claw, and that way. We've got a claw and like a chainsword as well. So we've got both of those. Very cool items. I might well do that. Thinking of real estate here on the tank. So we've got not a huge amount of real estate on the back, but because I do want to get the flag on the back, and we've got a flag probably this side, and then we've got another sort of little worship board that I want to put this side. So maybe we can squeeze this in somewhere, maybe on the side or something as a side sort of piece. I don't know. We'll have to think about that. I'm going to have to do some placement and have a little think about where that can go, how that would look. So maybe it literally sits off of the side of the tank like that, and it's like a side armament or something. Not sure. Let's have a look at that a sec. If we brought this grappling hook into it, we sort of cut that to fit. I don't know. Oh, sorry guys, I'm not showing you a very good camera angle here. So something like this where it can move up and down, almost like a recce vehicle where it can pick stuff up in case another broken down rhino, and it can pick it up out of the mud. Okay, I'm going to have to toy with this idea because I quite like it. I have to move those sides. Yeah, this is quite good. It's good food for thought. Food for thought? Yeah, that is the right phrase. Okay, cool. Okay, well, we've got those bits. I'm probably going to have to start building this or dreaming this up as I'm thinking of things outside of the stream. But anyway, hopefully those little tips and tricks for your muscle moment were helpful enough. We only ever do a 5-minute, 10-minute piece on muscle moment. If you've got any questions on your fitness journey or what you're trying to achieve, bang it into the chat, and I will help as best I can. Oh, that chainsaw reminds me of the American Rhino ECM on their military vehicles. Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty cool actually. Don't know whether that would you could even have these 2 arms like this. Look, somehow could this be incorporated on the front like that? So it's actually got the arms onto the side. I think that would be pretty cool. It won't do anything in game, but it just looks quite smart, right? Maybe we'll have to try that actually. That would look quite cool on the sides. Yeah, I quite like it on the side. Quite liking it. So maybe we don't need these little robotic arms. Or thinking about it, could the robotic arm, so this robotic arm thing, if we cut this little ball joint off, could that hold this little like worship thing on there? And it could be like a movable, waveable worship thing. And then on the other side, we've got these candles. So you've got the candles on one little, cut the ball off, get the candles on one side, and you've got the other little sort of thing on the other. That would be quite cool too. Yeah, those balls have just got to come off though. They're going to have to, I'm going to do that now. Just because they're going to come off, and that's going to come off. Whoa, that pinged off somewhere. Did you catch it? wherever it landed. I'm asking you as if you can actually literally catch it, but you know, I'm kind of dreaming. Maybe you can. So look, we've cut off the ends here. That's just a bit flaky. We cut off the ends for that one, end for that one. We could stick some bits on. So saying, yes, the robotic arms are what I was talking about when I said you can drill the ends out and they look like cannons. Yeah, you think they're like cannons? Yeah, I suppose they do a little bit if you do it that way, right? It looks like some weapon of some sort. It does look like a weapon system. Yeah. Yeah, so it'd be like that. Yeah, get what you're saying. Get what you're saying, brother. Okay. Only thing is, where do these stick, right? Because on this, if I take these little people off for starts, the two turrets, right, we've got fairly limited real estate on here. So, do we just stick these on here like that and get rid of the turret? So this turret would have to come off. So you could just, I could just use the no, I can't use the underside on that one, but we could just fill the turret instead of having this lady on there with a dual bolter. We could just go for this pretend dual bolter and just use that instead, just for a bit of fun. Do we do that? Is that the path we go down? Oh god, look at my tan line. That's awful. Maybe we go for that. I don't know. So we could just take these off there. Oh no, if we take that off that... I've just taken them off so they're not got the centrepiece on there. Maybe that would work to some degree. I guess we could just take these and cut that there. So it's literally just that piece you see on this side. So it's just that piece there. Maybe we'll go with that. Could you not put the turret to the rear as a tail gunner? Yes. Again though, we then have to cut through. There's not a huge amount of space on the back, see? So we'd have to cut through the symbol. Unless we place her onto... Not that side, that side. Place her onto this side. I don't know, would she fit? Let's have a look. Yeah, I could probably drill that out actually. So she would fit. I'll show you what I'm thinking. She would fit here on the back. Yeah, so she would fit on the back there. That would be quite cool actually. Yeah, I think I might give that a bash. So you're going to have these arms maybe on the side, or is that too much? So like the arms on the side like this, and then you've got these two sort of fake guns sitting on the top, so there'd be two next to each other, and then the gunner is on the back. Do we go with that? Do we go with that, or is that like too much craziness? What do you reckon, guys? Is that too much crazy, or are you saying looks good to me? Okay, all right, bearded veteran. Maybe we're gonna have to give that a bash. I am gonna have to find some putty to fill these holes, so I'm gonna have to bring out some putty and do that. I might do that now. Oh, I've got the hunter killer missile as well. Oh gosh, darn it! Or do we keep the hunter killer there? Bring these two closer. So I love it. It'll look like proper beast. Yeah. So we've got this here, the hunter killer missile. Bring these two onto the front like that, and then the gunner sits on the back. I think we might have to do that. That would be easier. So we could probably look at gluing that in place at some point once it's painted. I'll just have to get some green putty out to fill one of those turret holes. Okay. Where's my green putty? Here it is. So this is green stuff, peeps, if you've never used it before. Tiff, you saying I think it'll look good. Thank you very much. I'm going to have a sip of my drink. So this is green stuff. If you've never used it, it's blue and well, like a limey colour and blue. You just mix the two parts into a ball till it goes green, and then you can take that putty and spread it out as you like and use it how you please. So I will do that now. I'll cut some off. Just using my little metal putty tool. So I've got this like little spear which is quite stabby sharp, which is cool. Is that going to be enough? Yeah. Okay, so I've just folded the two bits in on each other, and I'm just going to have to sit here and talk to you whilst I knead this into a greeny coloured putty. So, we talked about our muscle moment, we talked about films and things like that, and what one of the like underrated films. We do, of course, have our popular film series, which is, your Lord of the Rings, your Harry Potters. Do you know what? Here's a fact about Harry Potter, actually. I love fantasy films, and I love that kind of vibe, right? But I'd never watched Harry Potter until about 3 years ago. Never watched it. I no, that's for kids. No, I'm going to watch that, Harry Potter. Do you know what? It's actually pretty good. I think if the Steve-O-Tron came rumbling towards you with claw and chainsaw and cannons going, you'd absolutely need to change your trousers. Hell yeah, you would. You'd have my Lady Gunner sat on the back, and you'd have me stood on the top of the Steve-O-Tron, screaming obscenity. Oh no, I wouldn't be able to because it's Sisters of Battle, so I'd have to scream some prayer. I'd have to scream prayers at the enemy. Yeah, I don't mind doing that. That's okay. Install a bit of faith. McGonagall has died. Oh yeah, quite a few of the Harry Potter cast have died now, because the original was like 20 something years ago. I didn't realise it was that. Like, it's been that around that long. I guess that's why it's got such a big fan base, right? The movies have been around that long. Books were beforehand. Oh wow, we actually went on a school field trip to watch the first one in theatres. Oh crikey, no way. Yeah, Harry Potters are really good. Like, they are, like, I was a bit of a skeptic, okay, I admit, bit of a skeptic, but actually they're pretty darn good. I've got to give it to them. They did a very good job of that. It's a great series. All of them are pretty cool. Do I have a favourite one? Don't know. No, because they all have good bits in. The graphics get better, obviously, as you go through, because the first one was like in the late 90s, was it? Something like that. But that's a great series that I really like now, but I only ever found it a couple of years ago. But yeah, Robbie Coltrane died. The first Dumbledores died. I think a couple of others. Some of them are in their 70s now. Oh no, gonna cry in a corner now. No, Tiff, don't cry in the corner. I can just picture Steve stood on top of the Steve-O-Tron, Bible thumping like a mini muscly Moses. Yeah, I just need to grow a bit more of a beard. Yeah, I'm trying to think of something like some kind of thing to say. Yeah, I think that's quite a cool vision. Do you know what? You're saying that I might have to get. You know, there's a website. I can't remember what it's bloody called now. Me and my words. I'm forgetting words. But you can build custom miniatures. Maybe I will have to build a like a part of the Sisters of Battle, because they're a female army, right? They have in the female army for Sisters of Battle, they don't have many male characters that join the army. It's about literally, I think it's like two male characters, and one of them's a ministerium priest, right? I might have Hero Forge, great one, bearded veteran. That is correct, Hero Forge. I might have to go to Hero Forge and create myself as a ministerium priest in the vest, All right, in the vest, in some sort of power armor type trousers, with like a little Bible type book, in like a preachy kind of pose. I might have to do this now. Yes, for my converted tank. By the way, I've got my... See how it's gone green now? I'm going to have to use this now to get in and fill the gap. So yeah, this is a great thought. Bearded Veteran, this is a great shout. I will have to go on a Hero Forge, right? If you've never seen Hero Forge before, peeps, Hero Forge is a website where you can go on and create custom minis. They are not cheap. I shall warn you now. They are not cheap, but they're very, very cool. You can design them and they're very good. So I'm going to have to go on now and design me, Steve Minis-N-Muscles, as a Ministorium priest, so I can ride my tank and shout up. Right, so there you go. I've got the old putty in there, so I'm just going to have to spread it about a bit. Yeah, so I'm going to have to devise that and get that sorted. That would be so cool. And he can ride. Steve can ride on my custom Rhino tank that I'm building right now. Yeah, it's going to have to happen, isn't it? I'm afraid it's going to have to happen. Only thing here, right? I'm having to stick my finger in the one of the turrets to get to the green, the other side, so I can lift it up and hold it, so I can press it flat without it going all the way through. So yeah, it's a bit of a pain in the bum job here, but that's okay. We can deal with that. We are, of course, Minis-N-Muscles, and we can do anything on this channel. Right. Okay, so I've just put that in there like that. I'm going to have to wait for that to dry out a bit. So what we're saying in chat, if you have a friend with a 3D printer, you can download the STL file for about £5, and the friend can print it off and make it the size you want. Yes, this is very true. I don't have any friends. No, I'm joking. I do have friends. But I don't have one with a 3D printer, I don't believe. I don't think any of my buddies have got a 3D printer. Just trying to think. No, I don't think they do. Don't think any of my buds have got a 3D printer. So if any of you know anyone that's got a 3D printer, I can send them an STL file to make a Ministorium priest, Steve Minis-N-Muscles Ministorium priest. That would be pretty epic. Just thought. Where is that friggin' mini? I've got somewhere a mini that could work perfect. He looks at the moment a bit like a buff Rambo. And he was actually a sort of fake Katachan jungle fighter, which is a playable army in the Imperial forces, or it was actually a completely solo playable army. It's not anymore, but they do have little minifigures, and he looked like Rambo. So maybe I need to convert him. And I could just use putty to make him more priesty. Maybe I should do that. I'm going to have a look now and start kit bashing ourselves a Ministorium priest Steve Minis-N-Muscles. This is a hilarious idea. I'm going to ride my battle tank into battle. Ooh, so I'm talking of battle actually. My next Warhammer 40,000. And by the way, just so you know what I'm doing, I'm using the edge of my clippers just to take away all the burrs on some of these pieces that I'm going to use, like this little candle set that I'm going to attach to the top of my tank. So I'm just using my cutters whilst I chat away to you. So my next battle that I've got, is it this Sunday? Let me check my phone. I'm not sure if it's this Sunday or if it's next Sunday. I think it might be next Sunday. No, it's this Sunday. Crikey, it's this Sunday. I don't think I'm going to have my... that's a shame. I'm not going to have my Minis-N-Muscles Steve ready for this Sunday's battle. That's... Although the army that I was going to use doesn't use a tank. That's for another army that I'm creating. Well, it's still Sisters of Battle, but it's just a different variety of characters. So, Yeah, I think this one's going to be my custom tank. What a great shout. Well done, Bearded Veteran. Thanks for the inspo there. That's going to be a cool little project to do. So I look forward to finishing this. This is going to be quite a cool little custom build, isn't it, guys? We've not done a custom yet here on Minis and Muscles. I've done a custom before with outside the channel, but I've never done like a custom build on the channel, so that's quite cool. It's a futuristic one, which I wanted to do. I wanted to do a more futuristic one and away from mythical sort of fantasy type. So that is good. Just prepping all these little pieces now. Oh, I need to get my drill bit out as well to drill out the hole for the turret, so I can get a sort of rear door gunner on my tank. That'd be quite cool. It'll just be a fun piece to have on the table, especially when my mates see it and they see a little Steve stood on top, screaming obscenities and verses from the the God Emperor's book of worship. I'm going to have to learn some verses and chapters now from the God Emperor's book. I'm going to have to find some. We've got this little sort of chalice as well, which is quite cool. So this sort of chalice that's going to sit on top of the tank. There's little ribbons floating in the wind, although it does have a hand currently strapped to it. So what we're going to have to do is just cut that off with our... what are they called? What are these things called? Cutters or something like that. What we were saying here, you do have access to my Discord though, Steve, and I happen to know there are a few with printers in it. Oh, cool. I just PM'd you the hero forge of my Candela Obscura character, Detective Dimsinad. Nice. Okay, so I might have to jump into the Discord and see if anyone has got a printer and they're willing to send something to me. That's if I can create a character that's cool enough. Either that or I'm just going to kit bash a model that I have, an existing model, and see how that goes. Yeah, so I'm just trying to cut away the hand on this model, this piece right now. Let's change cameras just to jazz it up a bit. Let's just move that out of the way. So as I was saying, what I've got here is this tiny little chalice, and I'm trying to cut the hand off, but it's like the fine edge between ruining completely the model and getting rid of the bit you don't want. It's like it is a fine art. So I'm just going to cut this piece off here. Sorry if my fingers are all in the way. I'm just trying to hold the model, the piece, in a way that I can cut it without completely ruining it. It's a really delicate process. By the way, I can't remember where I got this tool from. Cannot remember for the life of me, but it's basically like a razor blade, a small razor blade on the end, and you just jab it down to cut stuff out. It's absolutely epic. Cannot remember. It was probably like in some cheap and nasty sort of online toolkit that I bought just to test things out, really. I should remember, but you know me, guys, I forget everything. But it's very cool. You can use it to cut directly, or as I'm using now, in sort of a scraping fashion up and down the piece that you're working on, just to take away some of the contour or some of the sort of current shape. So yeah, I just need to take away that little bulge there. Oh no, see, went too far because this is super sharp. So it's so easy just to cut away way too much. Such a bugger. It's a really sharp tool, so it's really easy to take away too much. Okay, I've got rid of the hand. So look in there, look, I've got rid of the hand, kind of. Once that is painted black, you probably won't notice too much there. It's not too bad. Doesn't look too bad. Let's just really careful and finely cut away those bits. Nice and slowly. Taking really fine little tiny parts off with this blade. It's very good, but it is very sharp and it's so easy just to cut a bit too much off. So be careful. Well, be careful of your fingers if you use a tool like this. Oh, gold. Now he's gone and broken it, look. Where I jabbed too far, it made the link really weak. I mean, that's fine. I can just glue that. See, that'll quite easily sit there and glue. Well, I'll have to do that now then. Oh, crikey, I've just realised it's 9 o'clock. Blimey. See, look, once you get me excited about something, I completely forget what the hell I'm doing. I blame you, bearded veteran. Excuse me, that was a burp. So, too much glue, but never mind, there you go. You can just about see now, I've glued it back in place with far too much glue, but it's there. So just rest that down on here. So I'm going to want for that to glue. Okay, so we've managed to find a few little bits. Let's change the camera because to do our closing part of Minis and Muscles as always. Snips, yes, snips, cutters, snip. I forget, why do I do that every day? It's an absolute frustration. I forget what I'm bloody saying, as in the word. I just can't get it out. I know it, but it doesn't go from here to here and out. Absolutely annoying. So if it's brought you some joy, then I'll happily take the rap. Yes, it has brought me some joy. It's just made me sort of think in a more creative fashion. And I enjoy it. I do genuinely love talking to you guys, chatting crap, building out little models and just doing stuff. It's so cool. One day, dear Lord, let's start praying to the Emperor God. And one day, maybe it will be a possibility to be able to do this with you guys every single day of the week. And it will just, I don't want to make millions, just make enough money so I can do this as a job. How wonderful would that be? God, that's like the dream, isn't it? Doing something you love. It would be wonderful. So I notice it is 3 minutes past 9. We haven't talked a huge amount about films, our sort of filler. We always have a filler here on Minis and Muscles, don't we? But I guess it's a filler and it's okay if we don't cover it all. There was like, I always write my notes, right? And this is what I have here to my side. And I write a load of notes about what I should talk about. There were so many things I wanted to talk about in films. Chronicles of Narnia I wanted to talk about. I wanted to talk about Willow because I like Willow, not the new TV thing, that's pretty cool, but the original. I wanted to talk about Labyrinth because I love Labyrinth the movie. So that you know, there's loads about here, and I wanted to talk about like evolution, actually going from sort of where I remember like the fantasy films really starting in the 80s all the way through. So maybe we'll talk about this another time, but it's a filler, so you know, we will get there. So as all of those, we covered our muscle moment. I'm just checking to make sure we did all our bits and bobs, and that was just about a full body workout and how you can create it really quickly, really simply. 3 sets of 10, start from the top, work all the way down. 3 times a week, there you go, Bob Jamali, done, easy. We had some sort of Q&A all the way through with lots of different things, so we were sort of not only talking about various different things, so like your favourite movie or what movie would you have, but actually we voted on our next model to paint, and we chose the Sisters of Battle, or the Adepta Sororitas Rhino Tank, and we're going to custom build this one. Not hugely, because I haven't got a load of custom parts here sat at the table with me, but we did choose these, well, I chose these. So 2 little arms to go either side, and that's going to go on the front. We chose a variety of different things like this banner that's going to go on the top. We're going to rear mount the gunner. So we are going to keep our little lady gunner, and she's going to be rear mounted. We've got a load of little sort of parts of binoculars and some other pouches and things to sit around her turret, so it looks like she's more sort of equipped and ready for battle. We've got our hunter-killer missile that will stay on the model, and then we're talking about creating a Minis-N-Muscles Steve miniature to put onto this tank. He is going to be a Ministorum priest, and he is going to preach the good words of the Emperor God. So yes, and it's known as the Stevotron. Yes, indeedy, known as the Stevotron. So I'm looking forward to creating this and sort of taking you along this journey and sort of kit bashing this out and seeing how it turns out. In the background, what I will do between this session and the next session, I will try and find a suitable Steve Minis-N-Muscles figure, miniature, and I will get that prepped and ready so we can use that. I'll also prep some of the other bits as well. So rather than you watching me, you know, cut the burrs off this little flag or whatnot, I will try and prep everything. I will undercoat these two arms so they're ready, and we will start to fix things on. So next session we'll look at fixing things onto our Rhino and making it look cool as shit. Ooh, shouldn't have sworn, sorry YouTube. So we'll do that next week. So final thoughts, as always, thank you. If you are just joining as you do live and just chatting and keeping me sane as I go mad in this crazy world, but thank you for watching. Whether it's live, whether it's you're now watching it on catch up, thank you. Appreciate all your comments. I appreciate you liking and commenting throughout the live stream. I appreciate all your comments that you put on the videos after. So if it's people that I've caught up to, I think it might have been, I'm trying to think of the names of the people. I think it's a person called Butterfly Horse. I think it was Butterfly Horse or something. They dropped a comment on one of the shorts I made. And I think Honey Ann also dropped a comment. Thank you. I absolutely love talking with you guys every week. It's pretty much my highlight of the week, to be fair. I absolutely enjoy doing this. As I said millions of times before, don't do this for money. I just do it for the love and the fun. So thank you for joining the community and being part of it. I appreciate you from the bottom of my heart. Please do recommend the channel. We're at 80-something subscribers now, like 83 or something. Or maybe it's higher than that. Maybe it was 86. We're almost at 90. Come on, let's get us to 100 subscribers. Come on, we can do this. 100 subscribers, and I'll do something crazy for the channel. And I don't mean crazy like that, but you know, crazy. We'll do something cool for the channel for 100, for 100th stream. As a pointer, actually, coming up, I will be going to Comic-Con this year. I will be going to Comic-Con with the Game Therapy UK charity as part of Tactical Advance to Game, which we support veterans with therapeutic gaming, so that's largely based around D&D and other tabletop role-playing games. I will be going to Comic-Con this year in London in October, later on October, end of the month. I think it's the last weekend of October. I will be there representing Tactical Advance to Game and Game Therapy UK, but I will also be there representing the Minis-N-Muscles channel. I will be wearing my iconic vest, so my rhino vest, because rhinos are my favourite animal. I will be wearing my rhino vest there. I'll be hanging out at the Game Therapy UK stand. I'll be also going around and doing some live streams and things like that. So look out for me at Comic-Con. If you see me, come and say hello. I would absolutely love to meet some of you in person if you're there. Next week, remember, we'll be carrying on with our Sisters of Battle Rhino, our kit bash, which I'm very excited now about doing. I was kind of apprehensive and nervous first, but this has actually quite caught my imagination. So I am very much looking forward to doing this. We will do that next week. Remember, like, follow, subscribe, turn on your notifications, tell all your friends about the channel, and we will see you next week. Oh, there's a comment come in. Shame you're not going to the IPMS scale model world in Telford. It'd be awesome to meet you. Oh, mate, when's that? Drop me a DM or something. Let me know when that is, and I'll see if I can get to it. if I can get to these events, I'll try to get to these events just to have a look around and see what's about at these different things, and do some lives from the events. That'd be pretty cool. So I'm going to try and do that. If you drop me a DM, let me know where it is and the dates and etc. I will see if I can get on. Not promising I can get there, but if I can, I will. But yes, next week, next Friday, 7 p.m. British summertime, or we'll be transferring over the times, but I'll try and keep it at the same time. So it will be, do we go forward or backwards? God, I never remember the bloody clocks. But it will stay at this same time. It'll just be a different time in the UK, if that makes sense. But 7 p.m. BST in the UK and around the world. It's Remembrance Weekend, Telford International Centre. Ah, okay. Ooh, so that's November. Okay, right. So that could be a possibility then. That could be a possibility. Might be able to do that one, dude. All right, hopefully, fingers crossed, if I have the time, I'll be able to do that. But remember, as I said, like, follow, subscribe, share with everybody, tell everyone. Let's get ourselves to 100 subscribers and we can do something cool for the channel. I don't think I'm allowed to do anything new on YouTube. I think I've got to get to something like 1,000. Is it 1,000? Maybe 1,000 subscribers or something. And then I can start doing other stuff on YouTube. It allows you to have more functionality, I think, as a content creator. So that's a long way down the road, but don't worry, 100, that's what we're going for. That's the cool thing that I would love to get to. So yes, thank you, as always. Been an absolute pleasure. Remember, this is the only place where the brawn meets... Oh, I almost grabbed a file then. Meets the brush. The brawn doesn't meet the file, the brawn meets the brush. This is the only place. Thank you again. Stay tuned. Keep your eyes out for all the content. And I will see you all very soon. It's been a pleasure. Take it easy. Enjoy your weekend. Thank you very much, people. See you soon.